All right, so we're shooting landscape now instead of portrait, but yeah, we are at the loading dock to Burlington Coat Factory. I just did some rough measurements between each of, so this rail is approximately, I want to say it's like 44 inches high from the top to the bottom. Between each post almost is exactly 4 feet center line, so you can estimate it's what, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 times 4 feet, 4 times 13. This side, is it the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? There's a bike on the end, so that would be tricky if I did make it. Then I'm also calculating the runway. How much run up do I really need? It is approximately from the loading dock edge to center line of this is about exactly 11 feet. And then to the very next edge is 11 feet. So this platform is approximately 22 feet, but I don't have that extra space. But when you look at 22 feet this way, and then you look at how much space we have this way, you can kind of just extrapolate that, right? Imagine this was, you know, if that's 11 feet and you just rotated it like 90 degrees, that would, like a door, if it were a door, that would probably swing to about here. And just by doing that, I can go, okay, so this is about 11 feet here, from 11 feet, right? Just triangulating it. So let's say that's 11. Now that I visually have an idea of what 11 looks like, I can guesstimate that now this is 22, right? Or I can look at that as one giant gate and go, if that folded over this way, it would come here. So let's say that's 22, and maybe that's another 5 to 10. So at a diagonal now, if I wanted to run up and hit that rail, I have a shitload of space. You're talking 10, 20, 30 feet, right? So diagonally, you have 30 feet. I like this one because it sticks up above the dock, right? I did not get a measurement as to where this actually starts. So bear with me. This one here is approximately, what does that say? 50, oh, it's almost 5 feet exactly, right? It's a little off here and there, but 5 feet gives you an idea of what we're working with. What I love is that this one juts up approximately 12 inches off of the curb. Oh shit, I actually love this too. I didn't even really think of that. I also look at this too, you know. I try to look at everything. I try not to discriminate on things as a skate spot, but sometimes we just do. You know, just imagine peeling this back, skating this, and then grinding this somehow, you know, or just rolling up there and jumping off of it. So we said that was about 12 inches above the loading dock. And this one is approximately, let's say it's about 6 inches below the loading dock. So I feel like this is a lot scarier to skate than that one, even though, you know, everyone has their own things that works for them, that they're used to or comfortable with, comfort zone, so to speak. And the goal in my mind was actually to skate this one and do my topside tricks. But this is like a guaranteed nutsack spot. Guaranteed taint obliterating spot, unless you are very cautious. So I'm definitely gonna try soles on that side first before I attempt soles of any kind on this side. And we will keep you posted. And then I think I'll start waxing. I'll probably just mount the camera somewhere and get to my scientific data record keeping. Scientific data record keeping. Data and records, kind of redundant. Scientific record keeping. Scientific video record keeping. Whoa! That's what the top looks like. Camera. Oh, this would be sick too. You know, I always look at this, like cut the hole in the fence, you know, maybe cut this here, cut this there, a little baby gap. Maybe not even a gap, but maybe you come booking it this way. Boom, 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 boom. Hole in the fence, right? Or like when I say hole in the fence, I mean just straight bastardize this shit, you know? But do it in a way where it looks like it was meant to be. Where they're like, we'll put steps there, you know? And you're like, it might be against regulation, but someone's gonna find a use for it and go, I'm glad they put this here. And then at some point, someone's gonna be like, who the fuck put that there, when they drop a whole shipment of, I don't know, mirrors over the edge when the gate and the fence is supposed to be here to protect it, right? So, but just imagine booking it, hopping up, and I don't know, doing a Bio 900 over a Boeing 757. You know what I mean? Fuck jumping over a Bugatti. Jump over a plane or a helicopter or something. I mean, like, come on, like, let's think outside the box. Let's get a little more creative. How about you jump over a hippopotamus or a giraffe or a zebra? You know, it's like, get a little funky, you know, jump a giraffe. Wow, jump over a giraffe. That would be sick. All right, let's mount this bitch. Oh, FYI, since I'm always testing products, I have to say thus far, this is one of my favorite backpacks. I love this minimalist, simple design for a backpack. I love the, what's it called here? The rain cover. If you can see that pulls out and covers the bag. It also doubles as like a little stash pocket, if you will, right? This giant piece opens up and it holds things neatly in here. I love that there's 2 buckles, right? Boom, boom, boom. This comes off. This comes off. I think this retails for maybe under 80 bucks. I'm not sure. Seba has, I think, a few different bags, but some of the Seba products I've tested and tried that I'm genuinely in love with are their frames that are designed for grinding. I think those frames actually fit 60, I think they fit up to 65 millimeter wheels, maybe 68. I'm not 100% sure, but this dude Ian gave me those from, I think, is Ian from Boston or CT? Either way, they were straight phenomenal frames. I fucking love those frames. Like, love those frames. I think as far as big wheel frames for grinding, I think hands down, they come in, you know, as I'm getting used to these ground controls, today's gonna be probably my final test to kind of put them in a bracket. But the Sebas for me, based on the size and based on the wheel size and the overall height of the frame, the Sebas are good money, and they come in beautiful flavors. And the beauty, I think, that people overlook is that the axles can be rockered. I think not just can they be rockered up and down. I think they can be rockered in all 4 directions. I'm not sure, but they can be rockered. And I just remember that being a huge benefit while I was testing them and skating them and going, oh, I'm getting trouble here, wheel bite there. And I was like, oh shit, I can rocker these. I can change the height. Magnificent frames. I would say skates and frames that I, genuinely disliked were the Wish frames. I'm sure I can get used to them, but something about the Wish frames rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it's because they were the first generations. People have told me the second and newer generations are better, but I was not happy with the Wish frames at all. Not at all. And I rarely cop first generation anything, so I'm glad I was just testing someone's product. And the other product that I thought was just not for me, not my liking. I see so many people riding these products and they love them. But the USD Aeons, I think interesting concept, great, but the big wide gap and I feel like the same feeling I have with the Wish frames, the USD Aeons is the same feeling I got with the rollerblade blank frames that I got on my on my Sean Keen blank skates, which food for thought, the rollerblade blank frames that I got on my 10.5 Sean Keens are longer in wheelbase than the longest, right? These come in 3 sizes, small, medium, it comes, this is large. So the rollerblade blank frames are a longer wheelbase. And when you have a longer wheelbase, it makes it that much more difficult to navigate. Imagine your skates, or consider your skates as if they were skis, right? You've got this long piece in front of you and this long piece behind you. You're not gonna be as nimble to do certain things. However, if you were doing giant slalom down a hill, it might help you carve and cruise and do whatever you gotta do. All right, so let's mount this yacht. And we'll jump right back into the Seba bag, right? That was a little digress. Little pocket up top with the soft felt fabric on the inside. Toothpicks, right? I know a lot of you out there are struggling with addiction, oral fixation addiction. You have to have something in your mouth. You got to be sucking on it, pulling on it. I feel like this can help. Right? Whether it's marijuana, whether it's vape, whether it's tobacco, whether it's whatever type of faggot you like putting in your mouth. And listen, don't get me wrong, I've had all sorts of faggots in my mouth. Pause, all homo, right? No. And anyways, point I'm making is that I don't believe any of these things actually help us in any way. My lungs, I realize now that I'm skating more often, my lungs are just fucking wrecked. And I realized I'm seeing children everywhere with vape pens, and they're vaping at an alarmingly high rate, you know. And the vape, to me, the issue with the vape, why I think it's far worse than the cigarettes, is because there's so many chemicals in there. There's it's not just chemicals, but it's electricity with chemicals and technology that often overheats. And when it runs out, sometimes you don't necessarily know that when it runs out. And I believe a lot of my sick days and illnesses I've had recently, like I was sick for almost 5-6 days in bed with chills and fever. And I believe it stemmed from the vape, because every time I've gotten sick like that, it was when the vape had run out, but I had kept pulling on it because I didn't know any better. And I'm, you know, you're addicted, and you're just stuck in this habit, this habitual movement. You know, it's one of these like muscle memory, psychological addictions where you just have this, you know, oral fixation. It's a nervous thing. You know, it's no different than playing with your hair, twirling your, you know, biting your fingernails. You know. So, anyways, that's just food for thought. Back to the bag, right? Toothpicks. Got the nice felt pocket, right? Boom, boom. You have this interesting pocket right here. I think it's nice because you can stuff stuff in there. You can also zip and cram things in on the side. You have the breathable pocket. Then you have this giant pocket. All right, this is where I'm gonna mount my phone so that I can film. And I'm gonna use the binder clip if I need to. This is what it looks like on the inside, relatively deep. It's got a little old school phone pocket and all this other junk. Got this little belt thing that comes right off, right? Snaps off, snaps back on. What else do we have here? Your laptop compartment. Oh my God, I've been looking all over for this fucking thing right there. All fucking day before I left the house, I was looking for that fucking piece of shit. That's how you know God is good. The back of the bag, really padded nicely. Drawstring here. I believe is there a whistle built into this one like the North Faces have? I don't know. Point I'm making is that this bag is very durable. Very well built construction. I've been busting my ass in this bag, I think a little over a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. I picked it up from Kinetic Expression Skate Shop. That is SIIIIKE Arnav, if I'm pronouncing that right. He is a really, really fast and influential inline skater, entrepreneur, tech guru, just overall personality and influencer, if you want my honest opinion. But if you need any inline skate products, specifically from Seba, I believe, and FR, Sonic literally has you covered. Like he has a shop unlike any shop you've ever seen in New York. Wheels, bearings, backpacks, and when I say shop, I mean product. He's got enough product to fill this entire loading dock. Boxes stacked up. So if you're in any need of any product, inline skating product, I think he has aggressive skates. It's mostly rec products, but he has some aggressive products. Okay, hands down, there's no other shop in New York that compares to any. If you need products, go to Sonic. That's all I gotta say. Again, it's limited to just Seba, but he's got the grip on that motherfucker. Anyway, Seba bag, I picked it up from Sonic and I love it. It is falling apart at the seams here finally because I do beat my shit up, right? But I felt like this bag deserved some light of day and some shine because it is super durable. And I think even if it starts to fall apart, I'm still gonna keep using it for other things, you know? Most backpacks, I throw them out. All right, so. What's going on here, man? All right, I'm gonna. Oh, this shit wobbled like a motherfucker. Oh, you can tighten it. I love this because, you know, I think too often you can complain about something and look. But look at this. If you just... So, yeah. Now that I know it's loose, things like this will get loose when you're dealing with giant trucks. Tighten it up a little bit. It's probably not going to make a huge difference. Imagine we stole this rail. I actually would, though. Fuck around and find out. Steal it and put it where, though? Like, where could you move a rail this large? I think about when I built the Why So Serious box and put it at the Banks, and then the whole LES crew jacked it, and I got so tight. But when I heard them out and saw what they were really about, I was like, you know what? Y'all some real motherfuckers for that, man. Y'all was like, fuck this shit. A rollerblader built this box for rollerblading. We're gonna take it and put it in a spot where only rollerbladers can hit it. I thought that was like, love is love. I thought that was the best thing I ever heard and seen in like ever. Damn, all of these are fucking loose. But yeah, we could totally take this rail. I'm just trying to think if there's a park nearby. All right, you gotta do the math. This is what, 4 times 13? Look at this shit. Look at how far this one comes up. Oh, I'm not even fucking with that one. I wonder if it actually has made a difference at all when I start wobbling it. We shall see. All of this just to skate. All right. It's not as brazy as it was before. Oof. Let's see what this one looking like. All right, not so bad. This is, you know, I feel like this is one of those things again, why, like, you know, for me, it's it's a little bit of respect. It's a little bit of gratitude. You know, it's a little bit of everything. You know, I feel like even if because I can see it coming in the future that I'm probably going to start doing graffiti and bombing shit, but in a whole different way. You know, I feel like one of the things I would love to do, and I don't give a fuck if I get caught, but I'd like to literally paint the town red in Carnage style, you know? Just have giant red buckets of paint and drip them down the edges of like corrupt properties. Not really corrupt, you know, but in particular courthouses, police stations, banks. I was gonna say Puff Daddy's home, but I don't buy into that bullshit hype, man. I don't see Puff as a criminal. I don't see R. Kelly as a criminal. I don't see these people as enemies that we should vilify. I see them as human beings like you and I that just needed maybe needed a little bit of reasoning with, you know. And I also look at it from a color perspective, right? You know, how many of our African or people of color or, you know, leaders do we have that actually make it somewhere where they can make a name for themselves? So when I see somebody go down, like especially R. Kelly, I go, fuck that, free R. Kelly. Why? Because I was a teenager beating off to his videos. And I know goddamn near if I was a teenager that had no business with that tape, then I know there were adults all over this great country and all over the world enjoying the smut or whatever you want to call it that he was providing for them. And then fuck all of that. In junior high school, playing in the jazz band, playing with the school band, playing the clarinet and repping my shit, I was at all these events, basketball tournaments, and we would often play R. Kelly songs and freak that shit, you know, because it was empowering. I believe I can fly, right? So it's, to me, it's like you take away our greats, you know. I want to use the phrase that Jay-Z had where he said they gave Cassius the Shakes, try to emasculate our greats or something like that. And I feel like that shit keeps happening and we buy into it and we go, yeah, man, he's beautiful. It's like, really? I mean, like, all right, cool, but like, my grandfather and my grandmother, who's still alive, right? My grandfather who's passed, my grandmother who lives in Valley Street, allegedly are pedophiles. Like, where does it end? You know what I mean? Are we gonna keep stabbing and poking people? Like, how many of us have been molested and raped growing up in foster homes and in the projects and even in wealthy, affluent neighborhoods? You know, we always gonna point the finger and be like, yeah. I got a whole comedy skit on that topic, similar to what Dave Chappelle touched on with what's his name, Mr. Jello Pudding. But anyways, we're gonna get some wax going. I'm gonna leave this right here. I'm gonna leave this right here. Another thing on that pedophilia tip that I think that pisses me the fuck off. Motherfuckers need to wake up and start thinking for themselves and stop thinking that some law that you pass is going to give you freedom. No. In so many other parts of the world, what's considered legal, consensual, is not the same in America, right? America might be 17, 18. In some parts, you can get emancipated from your parents. Maybe it's 16, maybe it's 15. In other parts of the world, guess what? Maybe it's 12, maybe it's 13. These are all laws written on the books based on theories that people have come up with based on psychology of the mind and the brain. But if you are in the wild, right? You live in the jungle. Maybe you're a cannibal in some parts of South America and Africa, and your culture is wild. You don't know books and TV. You don't know rules and religion. All you know is jungle. Eat, kill or be killed, right? Eat or be eaten. You're 10, 12, 13 as a young woman, lady, whatever you want to say. You start getting menstrual pains and you start bleeding. That's nature's law. That's nature. That's the law of nature telling you you are now fertile to become a mother, right? Forget what anyone else tells you. How do we now create a law that says, and I'm not saying, oh, I want to have sex with a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever, because they're fertile and they're, but the point is we constantly, what's the word? We're constantly beating nature down. Like, no, that's not right. No, this ain't right. No, don't feel good. No, you should feel bad. Like, Schoolboy Q said it the best, I think, in my opinion. He said, how can you say feeling good is an addiction? What I'm doing right now makes me fucking happy. Like I can't even put it in words. That's how good I feel. And when I can't get this, I turn to the drugs. I turn to the alcohol. Thank God I don't need it anymore. But it's always going to be in my blood, in my fiber, that if I can't do this, I'm going to be looking for the next escape, so to speak. We're all going to die. So why not find a system where we can balance it and everybody be happy? I know when I was 10, 12, 13, I had hot fucking 20, 30, 40-year-old teachers. I know even my mom, for that matter, I thought she was beautiful and I wanted to tap that ass, right? But what if I'm a terminally ill child, cancer patient, whatever, and my Make-A-Wish Foundation is like, what do you want? Motherfuckers is bringing pizza and George Clooney and clowns and balloons, and I'm like, nah, I want some pussy, I want a threesome, I want a dick in my ass, whatever the case may be. Why? And what if there's somebody else dying in another part of the world who maybe is older? Maybe maybe it would be considered pedophilia. Maybe it'd be considered wrong. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it'd be considered incest. Like, who's to stop these two people who are about to die from having the best time of their lives before they go and pass on? Because we don't know where we came from, most of us, and we don't know where we're fucking going after we die. So that's all I'm saying. I don't care. I'm gonna do the damn thing. That was my impression of P. Diddy's doppelganger, Kai Cenat. I just found out about the dude, man. I'm like really living under a rock in this world. I don't really pay attention to half of the bullshit because it drives me mad. Take the vest off. Shin guards, shoes come off like so. So really I want to try Soul Tricks. Why? Because I want to see how this slides with the frames, and that's about it. I think these can come off now. I like wearing the knee braces to help warm up the tendons and the joints. I find oftentimes when I wear a knee brace when my knees hurt and I start skating, basically what I notice is that as I start skating, the knee brace limits my range of motion and makes it more difficult for me to skate, and actually makes it dangerous and counterproductive. But only after I warm up and the knee and the blood and everything becomes moist and starts sweating, that's when it really starts kicking, where I'm like, oh, I could take this off now. Now my knees are juiced, you know? I stretched at home. I've been taking care of my health. I've also been fasting. The only thing I really eat during the day when the sun is up, I should not even say eat. The only thing I really consume is water and coconut water. From time to time, if I feel like I'm really down on my luck or my body, like I got a ton of wounds from skating and other things that I'm doing, and I realize if my body is losing blood and fluid, and I have to replenish it. So from time to time, I'll have like a few nuts, legumes, peanuts, cashews, almonds, walnuts, and I think once or twice the other day I had like a Snickers and some M&Ms because I was just like, I was losing it. My mind was going crazy and I just couldn't hold it out. I couldn't hold out. But funny enough, I'm actually getting used to fasting to the point where I think I might keep fasting the way I'm doing now because I don't like eating a lot during the day, because during the day is when I like to be active. And when I'm active, I can't have a lot of food in my system. It slows me down. If that makes sense to anyone. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Not a thought, a thought. Also, I recommend when people wear shin guards that they tilt them this way. The bone, there's all muscle on this side. There's very little that happens on this side, and I find too often you hit that sweet spot and you're like, damn, what? You know, you have the shin guard facing forward, and sometimes you can get right under that bone, right under this padding. You could hit it and still fuck your shit up. So I always tell, I mean, I do it. I don't tell people, but I'm telling you now that I would recommend you tilt it a little bit to the side, because the top right here ain't really, nothing really happens here. You know, when I say top, like, I mean, whatever, you can see how it looks. I'm hearing like some stuff going on behind this door, and now that I think about it, I was pondering it before I came out here. I was like, I wonder if there's gonna be a truck parked up at the loading dock. But what I'm realizing is that I'm thinking about now is that shit, actually, loading dock hours are the evening hours. You know, at least for most businesses. I think only supermarkets, groceries, you know, places that constantly need restock of like food and mostly beer and alcohol. I see those during the daytime. You rarely see a beer alcohol truck, like a Budweiser truck, pulling up to a business at 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning. It's all usually business hours. But let's try to get something popping, man. Let's see if I can get something here. Miss, excuse me. I'm gonna skate here if you don't mind. Gracias. It's okay. No, it's okay. Sometimes there's... looks like it might slide on salt. But just to be safe. Damn, this thing's a little scary, man. Fuck. All right, first try. That wobble, man. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. Must be a stretch. There's a little kid there with his mom, so I had to throw that. Let him see what it'd be like. Whoop, whoop. That was a little cheap, but I'll count it. I didn't realize I could just put my hand on it. front side. Alright, I'm thinking soul grind. Now let's get the Royale first, man. Let's just get the Royale out the way. That's my way also of testing the frames on the drop impact, right? You might say, okay, what else is it testing? It's testing the shock absorption of the boot and the insole, the padding and all of that, the shock absorber, but I feel that it also tests the wheel strength, the axle strength, you know? Backslide plate is not touching, you know, so maybe I need to get some, and I feel like if it touches, I can slide the whole thing. Another interesting thing about these Razor shift skates, right, that I've noticed is that they seem to have been designed very similar to Remedy skate in terms of the lower base, in terms of backslides, torque slides. I find that with very little effort, like, okay, so I'll put it this way. I'm looking over a lot of the footage of tricks I'm doing where I personally feel like I'm standing up and it looks sloppy and ugly. But when I review the footage, I'm like, why does it look like I'm so low? And that is what the Remedy skate, in my opinion, had perfected. It had perfected, to me, they are the ultimate cheat skate, and they had perfected doing backslides, torque slides, and things of that nature. With REMs, like with these skates, these Razor Shift skates, yeah, I feel like it just makes it easier without even really trying, you know? So I'm wondering why I'm not getting locked into the backslide game. And I'm thinking it's because maybe it's a little sticky up top. Because I start off like front side and then I sink into it. It could also be the wobble, you know, I hit it and wobble and it maybe throws me off. Maybe that wobble forces me to stand back up. Looking good here. Just check this out. It'd be nice to have a GoPro angle on this. I swear to you, I never thought I could touch touch this dumpster. You know, I would like to do a front side, but I feel like when I do front sides, right? FYI, we're talking fitness now. These muscles, all of these muscles, get worked. And like from skating Tech City, New York City College of Technology the other day, jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. After that session, I realized my abs, all of this right here, were shredded. Felt like someone was beating them with steel pipes. And I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, holy shit, I'm getting cut up again. Either way, that's the core strength that's required to jump and to balance and to hold yourself. But when I do front sides, I find that it's lower leg core strength that I don't have, and I'm kind of like forcing it. But with a Royale, I kind of sit into a comfortable groove. You know what I just realized? As I bent down now, I realized that if I can't do a Royale standing, it means that I have to do this. And I often do this a lot with my skating. I will loosen up a buckle or tighten it depending on the trick. And then I always do this maneuver here. And I think I started doing this maybe because of Mr. Franco Camayo. He in a way has been an interesting mentor throughout the years, where he would see me doing something, maybe being timid or shy, and would say, yo, this is, you know, like a big takeaway that I've loved about aggressive inline roller skating that applies to everything in life is really the importance of being earnest and the importance of being aggressive and assertive, especially when it comes to doing dangerous things and going after things you want in life. I would use this analogy when I'm biking, cycling on the streets, whether I'm skateboarding on the streets, whether I'm rollerblading, inline skating, roller skating, whatever, skateboarding on the streets, and I'm sharing the street with cars. I find what happens often is, right, let's say this pole right here is where cars are parked, right? So this is the sidewalk. And if I'm skating and I'm like, let's say there's no bike lane and there's cars behind me, if I am timid and I like hug the cars on the side, I am doing myself an injustice. I'm doing the unknowing person who might be in a car getting ready to open the door an injustice. And I'm doing all of the traffic and cars, trucks, buses, you name it, behind me an injustice. Why? Because they see you and they go, oh, this person is timid. They're trying to, like, you know, not be in the way. When this is one lane of traffic, right? This is another lane of traffic, right? So we got 2 lanes of traffic. What you want to do, right, this piece of fence and this piece of fence, 2 lanes of traffic. What you want to do is not be rude and obnoxious and hug the entire lane of traffic, but you want to kind of have a body language and a sort of cadence that lets everyone know you might be a little erratic, you might be sporadic, you might go this way, you might go that way. And at the same time, be a little nonchalant with it. Because what I've found is a lot of times I've been on the streets with other skaters, or maybe I'm riding a bike and there's other cyclists in front of me. I'm talking about courier messengers as well. I realize the majority of these couriers in New York City on these e-bikes, first and foremost, they're going faster than most of the cars. The speed limit of cars in New York City is 25 miles an hour. Some of these bikes are going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. some of these electronic unicycles are going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. Very dangerous shit. And what I've noticed with the ones that don't really have an understanding of assertiveness, aggressiveness, if you will, is that they end up being a little passive aggressive in a way where they will only become aggressive when they need to or when their life depends on it, right? So imagine there's a pothole here or some guy opens his car door. Now I'm gonna be like, oh, and then jump out of the way, not knowing that there's cars and buses and trucks coming behind me. And I just think it's one of these interesting things that I noticed, that a lot of people could benefit from it in society if they carry themselves that way, at least in the, you know, in the DOT sense, in the transportation sense. But it applies in every aspect as well, you know. I myself am guilty of being very passive aggressive, and I've been seeing it happen to me over and over again lately, and I finally understand it. I finally get it. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. I'm like, wow, that really sucks. But live and let live, or let bygones be bygones, or I don't know, suck dick and die, or do it yourself. I don't know. Let's try to get a Royale. I will note that when I loosened up the buckle to get the boot down, right? Because before when I pushed down, the boot was not hitting the ground. All of a sudden, big world of difference, as you can see. And I feel marvelous. shit, man. Royale, front side, it's like switching up between the two. I want to try sole, but I'm a little scared. Gotta get to the end of that. I gotta get to the end of that and then I'll go. The rail.
No, we can't be doing that. God forbid you get hurt. It's a liability for them.
I've been hurt a million times before, man. They're not gonna, that excuse is not gonna fly. It's a liability for them. I'm an EMT. I'm an architect. I've been doing this 20 plus years. I have countless injuries. It's not bothering me.
I understand that, but this is their property. You know, if they don't want you, they don't want you. It's not personal.
No, I get that, but this is personal for me. This is like a personal thing that I have to do for me.
I got you, but unfortunately, you know, nothing's escalated to now we're here. So, I don't want you to get hurt.
If I get hurt or not, it's like I'm still gonna do it, right? Does that make sense? What's the alternative?
The point is, they don't want you.
Okay.
If something happens to you, it's on.
Stop saying something happens because I'm telling you it's not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna
The main
happen.
thing is, it's their private property. They don't want you to do it. That's it.
Yeah.
They want you to leave. I'm gonna do this somewhere else, but not here.
I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gone. How about that?
All right, do you?
You got it, guys. Thank you. And I'm going, right? You okay with me leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I appreciate that. Okay, testing, mic check. I'm not trying to do too much of this for too long. I just found this is my little stash spot for the camera. Camera goes in here with the mount. Slide one way, twist the knob, hopefully the weight counterbalances it. We are at Pep Boys, loading dock 4th Avenue and 3rd Street. I just want to see if I can get a front side. I just scouted the rail a little bit and it's really janky, really effed up if I'm being completely honest, but you know, everything can't be perfect, right? Or can it? All right, I think I found a sweet spot, so to speak. Where it is right now might be the best position I'm going to get all night and I don't want to waste battery. I got other spots to hit. Yes, like I said, Pep Boy, Park Slope / Gowanus, Brooklyn, 3rd Street and 4th Avenue. The rail has been waxed up. It's pretty dark. I can still see it though. There's a massive bend in the middle, and then there's a smaller bend lower down where there is a potential to get clipped up. I think if I'm doing front side or Royale, it should not be a problem. The rail is approximately 24 inches off of the loading dock, and we shall see. And it's about 42 inches on, I would say somewhere between 42 to 40. It's 42 inches to the curb that it sits on, but from the top of the rail to the street, to the floor, it's 48 inches. On the drop side, I don't have the exact measurement because it's a ramp that slopes, but I do have a measurement all the way to the bottom, and I think it's about 43, 44 inches. So let's try to get this boot on. Unlike the loading dock I hit earlier today, this one is Pep Boys, so there, and you know, it's been here for a very long time. I don't think the one in the Bronx is that old. And you're talking cars, car parts, sharp pieces of glass, you're talking sharp pieces of metal, and just a general uncleanly space that I'm in right now. Come on. You know, I'm not sure who first introduced us to this spot, to be honest with you. When I think back, you know, I'm thinking back to the days when I would skate with someone like Ovidio, what's his name, Chris, Drew Humphrey a lot. I'm trying to think like who was the one that said, yo, let's go here, let's check this out. Or was it me, or was someone just like scouting? Or maybe it was Philip Suarez, you know. I don't know who it was, to be honest with you, but if someone introduced me to this spot and it wasn't myself, and you see this video, please chime in and be like, yo, I took you there. You know, I miss those connections, man. I feel like all my life I've been looking for something, a place to call home. You know, it was martial arts, it was gymnastics, it was basketball, it's hip hop, it's this, it's that. But in reality, this is always going to be the thing that makes me the most content, if you will. And I'm gonna actually stop recording. And yeah, I think I can do it without the flash. I don't like the flash and I don't want to drain the battery. Maybe I should do a quick, are we rolling? Hold up, wait up, we rolling. We're rolling, rolling, rolling. And she ain't even in the car. Lazy, I mean, la, 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 la. On the road now, we're driving on the highway. But the way so I can peel down, on. I'm serving it my way. All right, let's see what we got. That was a little busy bone. Like I remember it, man. This thing is out. I remember this thing being out. I did wax it though, but still. First try, God. This approach is so weird. Fuck it. And it's up. I feel like the landing also, maybe it's that I'm a little tired. Body's not warmed up. Dude, I'm not even fucking fronting. This thing feels like it's fucking slick as shit. I just remember always hitting this and then going all the way to the end without really trying. Oh, man. Be careful. That was whack. That was a bitch move. The buckle coming loose. That's the thread clipping when I put pressure on it. All of a sudden it seems like I fucked up by wiping that off. Not good. I'm getting super stuck. It feels fast and then it sticks. It's very misleading. This bike hasn't been skated in 15, 20 plus years, you know? I didn't bring a fucking hat or a flashlight. Wasn't thinking that far. One big advice that I've learned with obstacles, rails, ledges often that have not been skated in a while, when you put a fresh coat of wax on it, oftentimes what I've discovered is that you can have that fresh coat of wax, right? Oh crap. Okay, so what, oh I see, oh this thing shakes, okay, gotcha, okay, good to know. What I've discovered over the years is that you can put a fresh coat of wax on it, right? And it's been my experience that that fresh coat of wax it may slide and then it gets stuck, but the real key is that sometimes it's good to have an extra skate or just to have your skate off and just rub your skate across it so that the two materials kind of create, you know, like I can rub my hand across it and I might wipe off the wax. But if I rub the skate across it, now the skate has some wax on it and the rail has wax on it, and they both have a sort of symbiotic relationship, you know, kind of like Carnage and Venom. Check this every time I skate, because I feel like every time I skate the camera drops or the angle changes. Okay, so I catch my breath. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 sort of bays between the posts, and each post or bay is approximately 58 inches center line, compared to the one in the Bronx, which was, you know, in loading docks, you're thinking the trucks are probably all the same length, some sort of standard 18-wheeler. But I'm doing this to try to figure out the math. So this is about approximately 58 times 11. Versus the Bronx, which was, I think, 42, I want to say, maybe it was 48. I think it was 42 times 13. Shit, this is not gonna work if this happens every fucking time. Fuck. I think I can secure it somewhere else. I got it. I think I know what to do. Alright, I think this is gonna be it. Pretty secure, right? Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. I bang this, does it move? It vibrates, but it doesn't fall. drop. I love this ladder on the edge if you can't see it. This is something the other spot did not have. That feels like more of a drop, and it's probably because it's slope. Is it sloped down or is the floor sloped up? You know what I mean? I can't fucking tell. And the approach diagonally, let's say, just to give you eyeball distance. All right, so I'm coming diagonally to the farthest point, almost the farthest point, but even if I went this way, if that's almost 5 feet, then this is 5, 10, 11, 12. Let's say that's no more than 15 feet that way. So maybe I have 15, I probably have a good 10, 20 feet approach, which isn't a whole lot. Honestly, maybe it's 10, maybe it's like 13 squared, and maybe I'm actually doing only about 15 from this angle. 5, 10, 15, yeah, about. All right, how far have I got? Just 2 bars? No, really? I need to get to that crack. Oh, it's so slow. So slow. Not even funny how slow it is. All right, we'll try Royale, which means I gotta loosen this up a notch or two so that the boot can get, so I can get boot down, boot down. That really sucked. Man, I felt like it was one of those, but like I had to put the balance on top, but the rail just was not budging. Let's do front side. If that's still sticky, then we switch up the game plan and just call it a quickie. At least I got to the crack. Or close enough to it. And I feel like the other thing too with this rail is that I would often get on it, and even if it didn't slide all the way, like if the momentum didn't carry me, the balance, for whatever reason, I can just bounce on it and just like inch my way along. That's kind of what I'm hoping to get. I'll tell you what, let me just see how a sole grind would slide, just to know. It could slide really well, but it could also be really dangerous. So I'm not even gonna try sole. Not with these frames and the sole plates, it just doesn't feel. And the wax I'm using menorah candles, which are my favorite, Jewish menorah candles. That's what she said. Facts. And away we go. Yeah. Oh my God. Wow, I kind of had a little groove going there, man. I dig it. It wasn't fast, it wasn't slow, it was like happy medium where I could control it. I think too what I'm doing is I'm jumping and not just getting low. So I'm working through the kinks, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm jumping on the rail. I feel like I'm jumping on the rail like this when I should be jumping on the rail low to keep the balance. And as I start getting further, I can start standing up more. Because the more you, what I've learned with balance and grinding, it's like standing still, right? If I stand still, it looks easy, right? But in reality, moving helps you balance. That momentum kind of keeps you centered. I don't want to say it's centrifugal force, but it's some of the science forces or whatever that helps play into the balance, you know? Because like I can jump on the rail without rolling up to it and stall, but eventually I'm gonna wobble out. But the movement allows me to kind of find a groove, and that's to me the surfing aspect that I love most about skating. That's why I love doing front sides, I love doing royales, I love long obstacles, I love I love obstacles that are challenging, where it's pretty basic, but you got a little jump, maybe it's a dock, maybe it's a, you know, yada I mean. Yada yada, yada yada, sex, yada I mean. All right, so let's get low. Oh, that sucked. That tells me that I need more bitches on my dick, is. And my feet are hurting because the buckle's too tight, and this is the one that keeps coming loose. Oh, that fucking hurts my. Ooh. Ooh, that. Tell Hulk Hogan. I don't got no soft wax in here. You ain't got no Yeezy and no something. Fucking soft wax. It is too, right where it kinks down. So because of this damage, where the rail is bent, obviously truncated, but it's bent, and so it kind of goes down and then it goes a little bit back up, and I think that's what's killing me right now. Plus the fact that it's probably dry as it's drier than Mary's vagina. In the Virgin Mary's ox, I got an ox which blade Fort Knox. Gooey gumdrops. Gotta give the bum some props. He fucks with the mop in the slop sink. I got things. I got links, Cubans. That hot Sphinx, Pharaoh, Farrakhan with the hot minks, purple tape, no camera on, but I got links. Obviously that one I can see, so if I make it there, I just gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then once I get here, I think I'm home safe. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, jujube. Get low, get low. And another side note, this is what skating was like for me when I started in 2002 or all the way up until, I don't know, 2000 and maybe even 9, 10. Like, we skated all night. And I say we, but in reality, we might have just been a very select core group of people who really were about this life. The rest of the folks, I don't want to say they were posers, because they did throw down and put in some work, but this wasn't their calling. When I say calling, like, they sought out skating, aggressive inline roller skating, for whatever reason in their life, to fill a void or to You know, I think a lot of people often find cultures and communities like this because they need a place to belong. I did not find this as a place to belong. I found this as something that I needed to do for myself. And the days when a day like, let's say today, let's say I'm 19, right? I'm 39 now, but let's flash back to when I was 19, 29, 39, right? 20 years. Flashback 20 years ago, I'm 19, I'm skating, I'm trying to learn the sport, I'm trying to learn the tricks and whatnot. I didn't necessarily care if anyone else was skating, but it did help. And if I was, let's say right now, it's almost 10 o'clock, whatever time it is. Let's say there's a session going on and people are getting ready to go home and do whatever, go drinking, partying. That's another thing. A lot of people started hanging out and they grew up, they matured, they became 21, they started smoking and drinking, yada, yada, yada. I was still of the mindset that was like, yo, you going drinking or you trying to keep skating? And if you said you're gonna keep skating, I would wait, I would do whatever I had to do to maintain that sort of dynamic. And I probably honestly didn't even really start doing like drinking and doing drugs and all. A lot of these things started very late in life for me, man. I lost my virginity at 22 to give you some context of who Adonis Taylor is and what his background is like. And I guess the other term is his pedigree. You know, these are the street life and the street culture is not something I sought out. I sought out skating, and then as part of that process, I found out about street life and street culture, you know, gangs, drugs, prostitution, cocaine, you know, hustling, all of these other things. The things that my mother made certain to shelter me from, which I think parents should never do. I think it's best to expose children to things, but expose them in a way where you can be there to mentor them and nurture them and say, hey, this is bad, this is what a cigarette does, this is what weed looks like, this is what this is. So they have that understanding. But when you are just completely blind and naive the way I was, in my opinion, I feel like I was in the dark. I was constantly craving and seeking out things, and it got to a point where it almost destroyed me. And thank God for rollerblading, thank God for skating, and for you guys, those of you who are watching that are part of this community that said, yo, Ado's fucking up, he's slipping, go get him. I really gotta thank y'all. Stay low and keep firing. What's funny on that one is my feet were bowed out, so I was kind of UFO on it, and I found I was sliding a lot faster than I could even control. I was more UFO, where I was on my inside edges of the grooves, whereas the other times I was on the inside, but I was on top. This one I felt like I was completely sprawled out, and it was moving too fast. Not to waste too much energy. Like if I know I'm gonna not, like if I can tell I'm not gonna make it to like even the quarter way, I'm like, fuck it, try to get off. Conserve that energy. coming too. Each time I jump, like, you know what it is? I'm jumping and I'm trying, because I'm jumping up and then coming down, and I'm trying to jump as low as possible. And on that one, the front foot clipped, and I saw I was gonna hit that gooch, and I grabbed the rail and slowly came down. So that was a good demonstration of what not to do and what to do when it does go wrong. I feel like the angle I'm coming from might be too sharp as well. I've noticed that with a lot of spots that I've skated over the years, Houston Rail, for example, and what is it, Christie Street, I think. I forget the exact cross street, but right there by the 2nd Avenue subway stop, Sarah D. Roosevelt Park has 2 sets of rails. Houston, I think, honestly, it should be pronounced Houston, but Houston, whatever. And I found that if the rail is here and you have an opportunity to approach it from both left, right, front, middle, you have all the opportunities. I find if this is the rail in my hand, I find it's always better to approach the rail a little bit close to it, you know. And what I'm doing right now, if this is the rail, is I'm coming diagonally at it and then trying to go this way, which could kind of work because of the trick that I'm doing, which is front side. And a front side, you're in a you know, a 90 degree. You're at ease, so to speak, shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width apart, right? But I feel in general, I've noticed people, and myself included, when they do approach certain tricks from a sharp angle, almost as if they're trying to stall on it, they often overshoot it, or they often clip it and bang, and that's exactly what's happening. I'm going right over. But if I were to come more in line with the rail, even if it were 15, maybe 25, 30 degrees angle, and jump into it with it, I find that's the better approach. If you could come straight at it, great, but sometimes coming straight at it is a little nerve-wracking and difficult. Maybe you can't jump that high, or maybe it's just scary, because some people like to see what they're jumping on directly and then move with it. But my recommendation is, if you're learning to grind anything, if you're this is okay if you're stalling, coming 90 degree and doing that, or coming at an angle like I'm coming at. What angle am I coming at? I'm coming at about a 30 degree angle, right? So not too bad, but ideally you want to come straight. So I'm coming from over here, right? This is the rail. I'm coming from over there. Ideally, I should be coming from where the camera is. So I'm going to try that. Less run up, but it might be better in the long run. For one, I can see the rail a lot clearer from where I'm coming from here now, because of the minimal light that's shining on it. But yeah, let's see what happens here. There's no speed whatsoever. None. Oh my God, that sucks. Okay, so let's carve and then go straight. And that actually works. Carve and then go straight. That actually worked a lot better. Carve and then go straight. Hold the front side, man. Just hold the fucking front side. Just get to the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get to the fourth post. The fourth bent post. Get past it. How about that? Just get past that post. Oh, that's gonna be tricky. I've been trying to do that. I wanted to like roll up properly. Did I crash cut myself rolling up that bitch? Alright, that was not bad. Roll, carve, and then straight. Roll, carve, approach. So I'm actually skating 90 degrees first, then carving into the rail at about, that's 90, I'm coming at the rail from a 60. So right, whatever, we'll figure it out. Roll. So I'm rolling 90-ish degrees, probably closer to like 80, 70 degrees, and then I'm carving from like 60, and then I bring it down to from 60 maybe straight into like 40, and then 15 when I'm ready to jump. Not going anywhere. At least I got to the jump up. I didn't like how far apart my legs were. It meant I didn't have great control. I gotta get that. That reminds me of Chris Farmer. Or Jeff, I forget, both of them are from Minnesota. Let's see if I can get that fakie. Oh, that's tricky. How much room do I have to not smash my head? I can do it. Actually, I'm gonna fucking take a chill on that. Fuck it, let's do the other one. Front side. Chapstick. Honestly, I think I'm gonna call it. There's really no way to get the proper propulsion to balance ratio. I'm not a sprint chicken anymore. I want to hit one more spot. I don't know if that spot has light, but I want to at the very least try something there. It's a low rail, and at the very least I want to measure it because it's going to help me remember something about myself. It's going to give me a benchmark. It's one of the highest rails I've ever hit in Brooklyn. The other high rail that I've hit was in Roosevelt Island. I could go there too and measure that, but I really want to measure this one because this has both a really high rail and a really mellow low rail. And if it's decent enough light, I can get a lot of good, healthy practice in without really disturbing the piece or hurting myself. So we're gonna call it, man. We're gonna call it. That's the train rumbling below. I don't have too much time, and what's funny is that my my ankle, the inside of my right ankle is hurting. It started hurting in the skate, but then like I always tell people, you know, people go, yo, that shit's dangerous what you doing. And I, you know, it's not to say, yo, you could get hurt crossing the street, but what happened is I was kicking debris, right? There's a lot of trees and debris, vegetation on the pathway where I'm rolling that will definitely allow me to trip and bite it Like, and I don't want that. So when I had my shoes on, I was kicking the debris under the rail, and I banged first of all, I banged my shin 2 or 3 times on the rail, which hurt like hell because it's a little nippy. And then after that, I think I banged that same spot that hurts on the inside of the skate. So now it's hurting even more. And I think the only way it's gonna go away is if the adrenaline kicks in and the blood starts flowing and I warm up a bit. All right. I gotta roll around a bit more. This is fucking hurt. I think I'll take you guys with me, right? So typically, I do this at every session. I want to say I kind of picked up on this vibe watching this gentleman by the name of Daniel Figueroa one time. I noticed and it's one of these, to me, it's a very basic exercise where we're aggressive skaters. We're used to jumping on rails, doing dangerous shit, grinding. But I think the key that I picked up on once was we would go from spot to spot. And each time you go from a spot to spot, maybe your body is tired, maybe you're worn out. And you have to kind of build up that momentum, that adrenaline again. And the easiest way to do that is to find an open space or a street or a strip, roll around, jump, hop, skip, twist, turn, you name it. But that's what I'm doing right now in this big open field, because I can kind of get that flow going again, It's fucking almost 1 a.m. And the last time I actually had my skates on was damn near 10:30 at the Pep Boys rail. So it's good to just book it, cruise, do a little maneuver with the feet, make sure your feet are nimble, agile, kind of get the kinks and pains out, get the blood flowing. Because if I were to just go straight up to that rail, chances are the body would not be ready for the shock, right? I've been out in the cold. And let's see what happens if we go straight for it. Let's try, I don't know, let's try maybe a topsoil. I don't want to do back royale on this. I did wax it, so maybe a topsoil. Geez, I fucking haven't done a topsoil forever. Oh. All right, fuck it, let's go. Let me just see how it slides. I don't want to die. Alright, maybe I will try back where I warm up. My back is hurting and I feel really stiff. The wax anyway, just in case I need it. this is why I love skating. It's so dynamic and like, and that's why I love skating street, because you have to adapt to every different environment. The floor is not very, it's rollable, but it's it has giant, you know, this is what the floor looks like, right? I don't know if you can see that, right? But this is the floor in comparison to, you know, the skate and the wheel, right? If that makes any sense. You can see how big these rocks are. So it's a very bumpy ride. Then you're going downhill. There's a crack right where you need, just before where you need to jump. So you're going down and then you have to jump up, you know? So all of these little things play into skating. And that is throwing me off psychologically. Had I been skating this regularly, or even had I been skating often enough, this would be nothing to me, you know. But now, as you're rolling, your momentum picks up, and my timing is off. So my timing's like, when do I jump? And I'm like, do I jump now? Do I jump and then clip? So things change. Alright, icebreaker. And I actually hit my shin pretty hard. And I hit it on the muscle, which isn't bad, but the muscle might start to cramp up after a bit. And the ankle part where I hit, which is actually bone, that's feeling a little bit better. Let's see what we got here. You know what, just in case, man, I didn't like how that felt. The cold honestly could have frozen whatever wax was on this rail earlier, you know? And again, that's why it helps to actually rub it in. Pretty slow. Still filming there, buddy? All right. I don't like that approach, man. It feels like I'm going really slow and then it's like, jump. Good. I might go straight for that topsaw. I feel like topsaw is a trick that I haven't really gotten down with these new boots on rails confidently. And I feel feel like topsoil is a trick where I can easily risk sacking it. So there's that fear in the back of my mind. Let's get that back row out, man. Fucking get the back row out. Stop bitching out. I really don't want this rolling because I don't really have that crazy long battery life. Not battery life, but memory. I got battery, but not memory. Visualize, manifest. Visualize, manifest. Oh my God, that would have been Sac City. Sacagawea, Sac of the jewels. Wonder if I got a topsoil, man. Let's get the fucking back royale, boy. Boy. B-I-G. Boy. Different angle, I keep fucking it up. Visualize. Manifest. Your destiny. Soul. Got the glow, my man. Own it. Alright. Turning a little too sharp. Back royale. I gotta come from over here. Oh. Jeez, I'm so confident until it's time to fucking skate. But I think that's everybody. If they're not that good. Stomp the dirt out, stomp the yard out. Bringing the noise, bringing the funk. Alrighty then, my toes are cramping, but nevertheless we will what's the word? We will march on. We will persevere. All right, aggressive skate tip, skate trick 101. If you didn't already know, when there's hills and asphalt or concrete paved roadways, and you also have grass and dirt, and you know there's no fecal matter in there, or it's not wet and muddy, you will always have an easier time walking back uphill through the grass or dirt. And likewise, you will have an easier time going downhill through the grass and dirt. It slows you down. Walking up a paved surface is one of the most difficult tasks to do on inline skates. I don't know if that applies to roller skates, but because it's difficult, it's also one of the best exercises for your body. So don't take the easy way out like I'm doing. If you have the opportunity and you want to get in shape, use the motherfucking ramp. It's not ready for that at all. It's so weird, so off. Putting with the putt, I'm pitching. T like Mr. I cooking. That fucking hurt like hell. Oh, that fucking hurt like hell. The fucking crash pad did not help one bit. That hurt good. Right here. Oh, right here. Oh, that hurt. That shit hurts you to the core, that fucking brisk iced tea. Pulls you to the core. That type of fall fucking hurts to the core, like a bone. 600 minutes. Trying to get on it low squat. Let the least amount of motion so that I can just ride it. Because as you start going down this bitch, it's like a roller coaster. Fuck it out, man. It's slow. It's like sweet and sour. It's slow, then it's fast. Hard work, it's not fucking half-ass commitment. Loving Biggie Smalls, relaxing in Benz. Oops. I just tightened up the buckles because what's happened now is that I had it where it was boot down when I loosened it, and then it was too loose and I kept wobbling on the tricks. I didn't have control of my feet. I tightened it too now because I guess what happens with plastic and cold is that the plastic becomes stiff. But because now I've been skating and there's my body heat and everything's been warmed up, the plastic now is more malleable, and I feel that when I put it back to its original setting on the ankle, I can get boot down without feeling too much pain and without losing control. And the more you skate, the more you start breaking in and wearing in parts, you know? So if you're trying to learn a trick and you're having trouble in bending, flexing, and you only do a few minutes of the trick, you're not actually doing justice to the skate, nor yourself, nor your body. Because what happens too that I learned, especially with tricks like topsides, that are super unnatural for the human body, that just the concept and the principles of putting your feet and your body in these sort of contortionist positions, it's not natural for anyone to do that. Like, there's no thing that we do naturally that looks or feels that way. Similar, close, but no cigar. And I realized early on when I started learning topsides that I had to get comfortable on sneakers, shoes, or what have you, barefoot, bending and twisting my ankle in odd positions, bending and twisting my hips, bending and twisting my knees, my arms, you know? A lot of these weird, almost like not sex, but like tantric-like movements, you know? When you think of like yoga and Buddhism and whatever these other things are. So you have to put that effort in. You have to put that effort in. You have to break a sweat in the skate. When you take your skate off, your socks should be wet. Your liner should be wet. Otherwise, you cannot complain and say, yo, I can't do this trick. I can't do that trick. It's not working. If you haven't been putting in those 520, you know, whatever that song is, if you haven't been putting in those kinds of hours, forget about it. Also, if you're not falling and you're not getting hurt, and you're not willing to fall, you're not willing to get hurt, and you're not willing to fall, get hurt, and get up, and fall and get hurt, and get up and fall and get hurt, and fall and get hurt, get up, fall, get hurt again and again and again, then this sport, this culture, this lifestyle of doing this type of these types of acts, these types of activities, grinding, stunts, jumping, whatever you want to call them, it's not for you, man. I'll tell you firsthand, it's not for you. I like jumped and like put effort into it and put the wheel. $13, $14, $15, $16. Let me just measure one of these real quick. 16. So this rail is approximately 16 times. That's about 5 feet. So 5 feet times 16 is the approximate length of this rail. Are these all 5 feet? Yep. They're all relatively even or exact. Yeah, so 5 feet times 16. These are the approximate length of this rail. Walk of shame. It's beautiful right now. I love, honestly, when I started skating was the summertime of '02, but I found that I was most happy skating in the winter, the fall, the spring, times like this when it's still cold and nippy out. Because when you're skating and you're wearing these layers, it's easier to wear pads. It's easier on the body. I feel like you can sweat and not really get too cold. I don't like skating in below freezing, but skating in the relative cold, perfecto mucho. forget, crack kills. You see cracks, you see sticks, you see pebbles. Don't hesitate to kick them bitches out the way. All the crack cocaine kills as well. Everything in moderation, even moderation. Dead presidents. Dead pres, right? Let's go. Shingo should be tilted inward. I got my knee brace over here on top of this one, just because I couldn't take it off. I mean, I could, but it meant I had to take the whole skate off. Didn't want to do all that. The hip thing. I got the technique. I think I got the technique. What you're not seeing on this camera angle either is that this rail is not perfectly straight. This rail is like slightly angled, right? So not only is it going down a slope and curving, but it's slightly angled. It's angled towards the grass, towards the landscape, towards the vegetation. So it's a delicate balance. On a soul trick top side, it's not so complicated, but on a groove trick, I think it's a little more tricky. Just kick my own hand with my skate. this smooth. Something a homo rapper would do. When you say you platinum, you won't be dropping the blues. Once I start standing up, I can tell I've lost the trick. I'm gonna go back to the very loose buckle, even though it means it's less stable. It also means that the boot stays down and doesn't keep coming up. Oh, shit. I don't even know how to jump to a fucking top. Oh, that felt good. Target misses. slow. The other pro tip, if you can and if you have it, is to try to wax the bottom of the skate, but whatever. Come on, motherfucker. Iced tea with the rucker. Rushed it. Not gonna lie, it's extremely slow. I believe it's two parts due to the temperature and the nature of the wax that I'm using. But this is a rail I've slid on many times before with other frames. So, and I've gotten stuck on a few other rails on sole. So I'm just questioning the material of this frame and whether or not it slides on shitty surfaces. It slides if I'm in the right balance. I figured out what was happening. All my weight was on the back foot, which is the sole foot, and it was not allowing me to slide effectively. That last one proved that it does slide. I find when I'm sitting down, I get stuck. But when I'm standing up, I'm cruising on it. Control review video, but I felt I couldn't do it true justice until I skated properly, doing certain sole tricks and top sole tricks. So now that I'm finally getting comfortable on the top sole and it's sticky, it's sliding, it's sticky, it's sliding, storage ran out and I had to delete a bunch of bullshit that I was talking. In all honesty, it's very, it's not bullshit necessarily, but for the purpose of what I'm doing today, it is bullshit, right? It's good information, good insight into politics and other things happening with the world, but for the purpose of this tonight, the reason I'm out here this late is not just because I love skating and want to skate. It's because I want to get better, healthier, I want to kick the old habits, and I want to have fun skating again, and I want to be able to say with confidence these frames are great or they're not, or what. I just want to be able to say with confidence what they are. And I can only do that by actually skating them properly. So let's get back to the drawing board over here, and we shall continue. Bitch. focused. I'm giving up. Not giving up, but the skates, I took too long of a pause to get through files and footage, and now my, like, the adrenaline rush is worn down. I deleted a bunch of footage of talking that were good talking points, but the body is just like, now the pain on the feet are starting to kick back in. And I think it's best to call it a night, and so to speak, live to tell another day, or fight another day, whatever you want to call it. And I'm actually thinking slowly and considering to myself, like, maybe it's about that time to start packing it up in life with regards to skating, you know, because I'm pushing myself. And I think I'm doing great, you know, like in terms of, you know, getting over the substance abuse stuff and all these other issues, but soon I'll be 60 years old. No family, no kids, no ambition, no, you know, and what's the goal? The goal is that I'm just going to be skating all my life? No, the goal is to skate and be healthy skating so that I could honestly host events and run a business where other people benefit from the business. I don't know. I think I'm just cooked. I haven't really slept, so let me not get let me not beat myself up. Just let me take these motherfuckers off, rest, call it a beautiful day, be grateful that I was able to come out here, be grateful that I still have a new lease on life, be grateful that I'm still able to skate at 39 at a level that most people cannot. I'm grateful to be skating considering all the injuries I've had and considering all the second chances on life I've had. So